I believe America is still the greatest nation, but we are really struggling. And this fight isn't about Republican and Democrat. This fight is about who we are as a people. Joe kind of made the point about those who aren't allowing the spirit that God has put in them. That, my first thought that popped in my mind, they're godless. They're godless. They booed God in their convention, the Democrats. Twice. This is from, and I've got several different renditions of it, so I'm just going to read the first one, and I might share the other one another time because I'm out of time. If I were the devil, and this was written and voiced by Paul Harvey, and it has been changed through the years, and I think this one is the most recent, and I don't know the date on it. If I were the devil, I would gain control of the most powerful nation in the world. I would delude their minds into thinking that they had come from man's efforts instead of God's blessings. I would promote an attitude of loving things and using people instead of the other way around. I would dupe entire states into relying on gambling for their state revenue. I would convince people that character is not an issue when it comes to leadership. I would make it legal to take the life of unborn babies. I would make it socially acceptable to take one's own life and invent machines to make it convenient. I would cheapen human life as much as possible so that the life of animals are valued more than human beings. I would take God out of the schools where even the mention of his name was grounds for a lawsuit. I would come up with drugs that sedate the mind and target the young, and I would get sports heroes to advertise them. I would get control of the media so that every night I could pollute the mind of every family member of my agenda. I would attack the family, the backbone of any nation. I would make divorce acceptable and easy, even fashionable. If the family crumbles, so does the nation. I would compel people to express their most depraved fantasies on canvas and on movie screens, and I would call it art. I would convince the world that people are born homosexuals and that their lifestyles should be accepted and marveled. I would convince the people that right and wrong are determined by a few who call themselves authorities and refer to their agenda as politically correct. I would persuade people that the church is irrelevant and out of date and the Bible is for the naive. I would dull the minds of Christians and make them believe that prayer is not important and that faithfulness and obedience are optional. I guess I would leave things pretty much the way they are. What do you think? Does that describe America today? Like I said, there's several different renditions. They've changed, evolved through the years. I've said before, they want to remove prayer because the enemy sees the power in prayer more than the believer does at times. Was America ever great? It was a miracle that America even won a revolution. And might I remind those out there that hate this nation so much, when we won that revolution, the ones who didn't want to be here, the ones who didn't like it, they were sent packing. About 100,000 of them. CSC Talk Radio is about bringing this nation back together. We can't do it alone. We need to stand with God. We need to hold these elected officials accountable, and we need to go to the polls and vote. November is going to be important. The Republican you vote on may not be the one you like. And I've often said the lesser of evils is still evil. But by golly, what's going on now is crisis. It's time we stood together with God in prayer and bring America home.